welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to episode 24, the last one.
Season finale.
I know, bum, of the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella Grosvenor, Kate's daughter, still here learning with you all.
You must know a bit by now, though.
Yeah, but this is my catchphrase now.
But it's a true story. Actually, we were talking about that earlier on, weren't we? Saying obviously you're in the perimenopause group with me, and you were like, no bloke is ever going to pull the wool over my eyes after this. Like, you consider yourself now to be bulletproof to men's BS.
Oh, yeah. Well, the mother like you, yeah. Like, try me.
Bring it on, mate. It's just not going to happen, is it?
I've seen bigger and badder.
Yeah, and it's like, do you think that's an advantage, though? Or do you think it's just going to be like...
I'm so glad I was exposed early to what they can be like. So it's like, okay, it doesn't hurt. So the day... This is really bad. A year ago, my friend was telling me about the male gaze. I didn't know the male gaze was a saying. It was a phrase. It was a thing. Rowan told me when I described it to her. She was like, you don't know the male gaze? I felt like my innocence was taken away from me that day. Aww. So after that day, I'm like, no. There is no. You can't.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, the thing is, you now, I love... one of my favourite things is when you're reading some of the comments in the group and you just go, oh my God, no.
Oh, today. No, it angered me. It really angered me. Can I say what it was? Oh. True. And so, I'm not mentioning any names.
No, the thing is, we have this beautiful group on Facebook, don't we? It's a support group. It's completely free. Everyone's welcome to join if you're a girl.
Yes.
No boys allowed.
Yeah.
And that's for a very good reason when you hear the next bit of this commentary.
Yeah. So this lady put on a post talking about, is it normal to have no sex drive or very little sex drive and stuff? And like 30 women commented saying, yes, me too, me this, all of that. And then there was like 2 or 3 where the women were like, I'm the opposite. I'm desperate for attention and my husband will not go anywhere near me. He won't give me any physical attention and he's blaming me.
And you were like, girlfriend.
He's blaming you? If that was me, in a second I would emasculate him. And say, no, it's because you can't do something. Let's be real. It's because of that. You're not blaming the woman for that. No, we're not doing that today. Blame your own biology.
I mean, it's such a complicated matter, isn't it? It's not an easy one. Because there are men at that age that do start to have issues with erectile dysfunction.
Exactly.
And it's a very, very sensitive topic for men. It's a very, very sensitive topic for everyone, to be fair, because we have talked about it before, the guilt from women when they suddenly their sex drive and their libido drops off a cliff, because it does feel like it's just disappeared overnight. And there's a lot of guilt from women that feeling like, it's not fair, and it's because you feel like, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world because he feels like I don't love him, but actually I just don't have any. I feel like I'm dead inside and I don't have any sexual urges left. But for men, it feels like an emasculating of I'm no longer a man.
And I understand that, and that's very true.
Yeah.
But then because you feel emasculated, we don't need to tear down the women because you're incapable. And that's okay, you're incapable.
It just needs a communication thing, yeah.
And just admit.
But you were on your war horse, weren't you, today? You were like, no.
No, not my girls.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. Anyway, we are the season 1 finale. What's the question for today?
So the question for today is from me. It is, because I think it's season finale, I think we should talk about you. Because we did have some questions and I went, do you know what? No. Season finale it should be, because I don't think anybody knows fully your perimenopause journey and experience and how you've gotten to where you have today. So today I'm going to interview you.
Okay, bring it on. Okay. Here we go.
First question.
Yes, Mum.
When did you start? What year was it, or how many years ago did you start feeling symptoms of perimenopause, or acknowledging, oh, this could be perimenopause?
Okay. Wow. So the first time I was aware, right, I knew there was something wrong in lockdown.
Okay, it's 4 years ago.
Yeah. So, and it's weird, isn't it? Because you feel like I should have known, but I didn't know because I haven't had periods in for forever because I obviously had you, and then I did have periods in between you and your sisters. But then when I had Rowan, so I was pregnant with Rowan.
Rowan's second child.
For 2000, she was born in 2005. Then I was breastfeeding her for like a year, and then I got pregnant with Jenna straight after I stopped breastfeeding, pregnant with her, and breastfed her for a year, and then had the coil fitted, the Marina coil. And then I had a coil, and then a coil, and then a coil. So, like, literally for, I don't know, 15 years or something.
And coils can either stop periods or not.
For me, stops completely. So I didn't have any clue with periods, and that's usually where women know. So I had no period clues whatsoever. In lockdown, Scott and I were cleaning our cars.
Okay.
Because we had nothing better to do.
Yeah, actually.
And no one had anything. It was like the beginning. Like the first weekend, everyone was in lockdown. Like right at the beginning. And we were cleaning our cars, and me being clever, you know, because I'm on the spectrum, and the ADHD part of the spectrum, not the autism part of the spectrum. I go all or nothing.
Yeah, I saw that today.
It's either I do everything or I do nothing. So it either exists to the nth degree or I don't see it.
Yeah, if you start a task, you're finishing it.
Yeah, and I'm finishing it, and if you disrupt me from it, my brain gets really upset. So we started to clean the cars, and I was cleaning my car like with Q-tips, like it was going to be the cleanest thing on the planet. And I was sitting in the car, and I was cleaning everything, and I then started to get really ill. And when I say really ill, I got super poorly, and I thought I was having a stroke.
That poorly.
So I went to lie down, and I felt like I was having heart palpitations. I started getting swelling on the side of my face. I got a rash. I felt kind of numb and shaky. And we called 111, and they were like, oh my God, this is not okay. We went through all this stuff, and it was lockdown. Lockdown just happened, and people were dying.
Yeah, you couldn't go to the GP. So it wasn't like that.
There's no GP, there's no A&E, nothing's happening. So I was like scared, didn't know what it was. And so for the next, not being funny, but like we were all cleaning and doing strange stuff in the house and painting and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And for a few months after that, we didn't know what was going on. And I kept having these weird incidences of nausea, vertigo, ear problems, rashes, hot flashes, and would go to the GP on and off for the next 6 to almost a year, and they tested me for. Bear in mind, I'm already a life coach at this point, so there's no kind of depression with this, there's no kind of mental health issue with this, so that they weren't going to give me antidepressants. So there's no mental health, because that's quite often what they prescribe women of my age. They go, oh, you're depressed, here's some antidepressants. There was none of that, so they didn't have any get out of jail free card with an antidepressant, because that's usually what they do. You're depressed, here's some antidepressants. Sleeping disorders, here, take some sleeping pills. So they started testing me for Ramsay Hunt syndrome, fat face syndrome, immune disorders, because they thought my body was attacking itself, Meniere's disease, ear problems, neuron problems. And they started testing me for all these really complicated things. They did all these massive blood scans, blood things, nothing wrong with me.
Right.
I mentioned hormones, and they said, no, you're far too young for all of that.
Okay.
You're far too young for that. It can't be possibly in hormones. They did my iron test. They did everything. They did every single possible thing they could do. Nothing wrong with you. Then I kept saying, but my ear hurts. I've got an itchy ear.
I remember you saying that.
Itchy ear, just one ear. So because it's one ear, must be an ear infection.
Oh, yeah.
So, but they couldn't see anything wrong with my ear.
Yeah.
And I don't have fevers. I'm one of those weird fevers. So I can have a chest infection. I can have pneumonia. I can have like really bad things, but I don't ever spike a fever. And I was trying to explain that to them. So it must be an ear infection. So they gave me antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic. And then I went to one doctor, and he said I must have burst an eardrum.
Right.
Because he couldn't see my eardrum. And then they gave me more antibiotics. And then I went to see another nurse and she said, no, don't be stupid, I can see your eardrum. And it went on and on and on. And this is like 2 years. And I was having nausea and I was having like just weird symptoms. And my quality of life at this point started to get really like bad. You know, I was really struggling with nausea. I was really struggling with like the odd hot flash. I was really starting to struggle with night sweats. And I wasn't putting the pieces together, weirdly, because it was just spasmodic.
Did you know about the difference at that point between menopause and perimenopause?
I had never heard the word perimenopause in my life.
Okay. So you're just thinking it was menopause.
No one was talking about it. No one had said perimenopause. I was 45. No one had ever said the word perimenopause in my life. 50 was menopause still. And I didn't know anybody was talking about perimenopause. Naveen and McCall hadn't started talking about it. I wasn't on TikTok. No one had said the word. No one had come out and said it. No one was discussing it. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't 50. They were telling me I was too young. I believed them.
Yeah, the too young. The
too young thing. And it wasn't yet in the media, so I had no clue. So anyway, I went back to the nurse and she said, don't be ridiculous, because it was this young doctor, bless him, that had said I'd burst an eardrum. I went back to her and I just said, listen, I'm not right. Okay. Yeah. I'm not right. And my quality of life is now being affected. I'm really unhappy. I've got all these symptoms. I've said it to all these doctors. This is the first time I've seen a nurse. Okay. This is why I always champion nurses. I've seen all these doctors, and I bear in mind I'd had 4 or 5 sets of antibiotics, and they kept sending me back again. And I kept saying I've got this really itchy ear. I feel like my ear's swollen. I'm really uncomfortable in one ear.
Yeah,
and it still it's there and blah blah blah. And I went to see her, and they went. I think the doctors must got bored of me because they sent me to this nurse. And so I said to them, "Listen, I don't know what to do." And I said to her, "I'm not going to be funny with you, but I still think it's hormonal because it feels like I did in pregnancy. I'm really tired and I've nauseous, and this ear thing. I don't know what it is, but it's driving me mental." And she looked at me and she went, "How old are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm 40. This one was 46. I was 46. And they keep telling me I'm too young, but I know I'm not pregnant because I've done a pregnancy test."
Did you?
Yeah. Because it felt like pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I had done a pregnancy test because I was like, baby?
Imagine.
I know, but like, don't ask her. But I was like, it felt like pregnancy because I was like, I had everything just felt wrong. And she went, and I just said, "Do you think we could do HRT?" And she went, "Of course we can." And she put me on HRT. And I'd like to say, and after that, I felt amazing. I felt worse. I felt horrendous.
I really didn't think you were going to say that.
You didn't, did you? You thought I was going to say...
Because I know you're on HRT now.
Yeah, and you thought I was going to say, and I lived happily ever after.
And then I became a perimenopause expert because of that nurse.
Oh, and it was just amazing. No, she put me on some tablets.
Do you remember her name?
No.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's a lovely woman, though. Bless her.
I just thought we'd give her a shout out, but...
No, she was cool. And I went on tablets and they just made me feel like so nauseous. It was disgusting. So I went back to her and I went, "This is not working." I gave it a couple of months. I was like, I really feel bad.
Yeah.
So I said, "Could I try the patch?" And she went, "Yeah, sure." Put me in the patch. And that was my happily ever after. So, message to everyone out there. Some things work better than other things.
Yeah.
And what works for you doesn't work for everybody else. So I have the coil, the Marina coil still.
Yeah.
For progesterone, and I have the patch that works for me for estrogen. I haven't gone up or down on the patch. I know I went up another level on the patch, but I could go up another 2 levels, but I don't need to because it still works.
Did you start that at 46 or was it a bit later then? The patch?
Probably about 47. Okay. By that point, I can't remember.
So it was like a year and a bit until you actually found.
Yeah. No, I mean, by the time I went up. No, I probably started the patch at 46. I went up to the next level at 47. Okay. I could go up another couple of levels, but I'm not having any more vasomotor symptoms. Weirdly, I was doing a research paper, just as I do, the other day, and one of the medicines that I take for my neuralgia actually helps with vasomotor symptoms. Oh. So just weirdly, it's not designed for it, but it does help with them.
That's good.
I know, just ironically. So yeah, so that's how I got to where I am today.
And what remedies or what little things help you in your day-to-day now that you've managed it a bit better?
Okay.
So for the women going on the other side a little bit, like getting to the other side, or still trying to figure out what natural remedies and what supplements and they can take.
So what natural remedies? The number one thing you need to do in perimenopause is look after your sleep. This is a true story, because if you don't sleep, you're scuppered. Sleep and deep sleep is the number one thing you really, really need. And for many women, that is a problem. Including me sometimes. So I go through periods of sleeping and not sleeping. Some of that's neuralgia based, some of that's ADHD based. If I'm really interested in a project, it affects my sleep. That's always been the case with me, though. So sleep is essential, because that's when your body helps to regulate your hormones. And that's really important. So do what you can to sleep.
But it's what's helped you.
What's helped me? Supplements have massively helped me. Collagen is the number one thing that's helped me. It's helped my knees. It's helped my back. My back is no longer in pain, which is a miracle, because it's been in pain since I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So collagen is the thing that has helped me the most.
Yeah, I've grown up with you having always back problems. Yeah. So that's amazing that the collagen's helped.
I don't know why. I always had back problems, but I've always had back problems, and now I no longer have back problems.
Amazing.
And collagen is the thing that's helped me the most. If you're going to the thing that you can do best is to get yourself on good quality supplements and just commit to taking them consistently. There's a lot of noise out there in the supplements market. I'm not saying you have to take our supplement range, but I would say find out what exactly you need. I mean, one of the things that we do differently from other people is that we provide advice and we tell people how to take things, and we tell people why they have to take things, what they're there for, and
what times of the day.
So we try and give people extra help with it.
And we do bundle vitamin deals, I don't think, and supplements deals. I don't know if many other people...
Because I don't pay attention to what else is out there. I just know that when I started my journey, I'd go to very well-known supplement shops and go and ask their advice, and they wouldn't know. Okay. And then I'd ask them, which magnesium should I take as a woman in perimenopause, to a very well-known high street shop.
I think I know the one you mean.
And this was the manager, and he said, well, I don't know, but this one's this one gets absorbed very well by your body. And he gave me magnesium citrate. And magnesium citrate is great if you've got constipation. Oh. Well, I don't know many women in perimenopause that necessarily do have constipation. Yeah. That's not the main issue. Now, if a woman came up to me in perimenopause and said, which magnesium should I take? Well, I've created a magnesium complex. Yeah. Why magnesium complex? Because it's got magnesium glycinate, which helps you sleep. Magnesium taurate, which helps feel less anxious. Magnesium malate, which helps to relax your muscles, and because a lot of women in perimenopause get very stressed muscles and very fatigued muscles, so I've created a complex of those three. He gave me something utterly different. That's not okay. I mean, you could even why that one? Yeah, just because his knowledge was it crosses the barrier and it's well tolerated by the system. Maybe it was a popular bought product as well. Yeah. So do you see what I mean? Yeah. It's like, why would you give a woman in perimenopause that particular one just because it's readily absorbed by the system? The staff should be more educated if they're going to be supposed to be recommending people supplements. They are well educated, but they're not well educated on perimenopause. And the issue is women's bodies in perimenopause have very, very, very specific needs that is utterly different from everybody else. I mean, really, really are, anyway. I could rant all day on that. So this is the thing. So what else? Manage your stress. Managing my stress. I am such a relaxed little pussycat in comparison to every other time of my life. Deliberately so. What, you try to be? I just let it go. Yeah. I don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. I know now the effects of stress on my body, and it's just not worth it. Perimenopause, if you don't let go of the stress, you will gain weight at a rapid extent. If you don't let go of the small stuff, if you hold on to your stress, your body's hormones will be out of balance, because there's something called the progesterone steal. Very, very boring stuff, probably. I find it fascinating. but it stops your body from producing progesterone. And so you end up in a state of estrogen dominance. And when you end up in a state of estrogen dominance, you get crampy, you get moody, you get bloated, you get crampy, and it ruins your mood, it ruins your physical health, and it's really unpleasant. So you gain weight, you cramp, you headaches, you're just really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, and you're just not nice to, it's never mind not being nice to be around, it's not nice to be inside you.
Yeah.
So managing your stress is super duper important. So sleep, managing your stress, looking after yourself, because I think you get to the point where you're like, I just have to look after me. I can't, this self-harm thing. And I don't mean self-harm as in self-harming. I'm not talking about doing something deliberately to self-harm, but if you're not looking after yourself, you're self-harming. There's only two ways to look at yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of yourself, you're neglecting yourself. So, and that's a version of self-harm. And in perimenopause, you have to look after yourself. We cannot neglect ourselves anymore, because it just gets to the point where your body and your mind and your soul cannot tolerate anymore the just bare minimum.
Yeah.
I have to have a bath if not every day, like 5 days a week, because I need to soothe, me and my bath oils, that waft through the house, and I deliberately have this sleep, the whole perimenopause brand, just go and buy everything, honestly. But the Olverum bath oil, and then I get out and I do all my hand massage and my foot massage, and it sounds like ridiculous, but I deliberately chill myself out and look after myself, because I know that without that, it is an uphill battle. So managing your stress, sleep, supplements, just give yourself a fighting chance. Last one, I'd say manage your gut. Every day, I mean, everybody laughs at me because I have the same breakfast every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Homemade granola or roller granola, shout out to those boys because they really know the granolas. It's all sweet.
Shout out to the boys.
To the boys that roll with granola. Seriously. Greek yogurt, Marks and Spencer's 10% fat Greek yogurt. Fantastic. Load of berries for antioxidants. But it really helps look after my gut first thing in the morning.
And coffee with collagen.
Yeah. And soon to be something else in the evening, we don't think. Hopefully, if we get that sorted soon. That stuff sorts your day out in the beginning. Healthy dose of yoga. Yeah, I think
that's great.
I think I've nailed everything.
Last question, just so we don't go too much over time. What advice would you give to women then who are struggling at the moment? What heartfelt for their mental health? Ooh. Not what they can do to help, but kind of
advice.
What message would you like to give them?
Okay. Gosh, so much. I don't know where to start. Okay, perimenopause is not a few months. It's a chapter, and it's a meaty chapter. Yeah. It's a long one. Don't take this lightly. You will get through it. Absolutely, you will get through it. But it's not. It will knock. The waves will wash over you and take your knees out if you're not standing upright. So it's very doable. It doesn't have to be a shit show, but you can't be a passive recipient. If you're a passive recipient, it's going to take you under.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? You have to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Don't try and control everything, because you can't. We all know you can't control everything. But you have to stand up and be counted and say, okay, I see your perimenopause. I've got my eyes on you. Like, I see what you're doing. And just be knowledgeable. It doesn't have to ruin your life, but it just has to be something that you actively work on. Let go of the woman that you were.
That's good. That's powerful.
Really important, because she is no longer available to you. The she that was there is not coming back. Your body's not coming back. Your mindset that was there is not coming back. She's gone. If you want to mourn her. I would suggest just kind of say a cheerio and just look forward to the woman that you're going to become. Because the woman that you're going to become is wiser, calmer. I promise you calmer, because you're not going to have that hormonal crap going on. So she's wiser, she's calmer. And the other side of perimenopause is a very peaceful, chilled, like happy, like content version. But she's not the same version. She's not the same you.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a battle or a journey to get through to this other woman. But you can't have both. So if you've got one hand trying to hold on to the past, you can't then grab hold of the wiser, calmer you in the future. You have to let go. You have to let go. And it's okay. It's okay to do that.
Yeah.
But don't try and have it all,
Yeah.
It's important because we want to still... So many women, you're like, but I don't recognise myself and I don't...
Yeah.
It's okay. Take that leap of faith in the fact that you will like the new you. You will like her because she's cool. Like, she's chilled, she's experienced, and she's relaxed, and she knows what she wants. She's got a shit together. She's all right. So just take a leap of faith in that.
Yeah.
And you'll get there. Just invest in yourself, and you'll be all right.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I think if I was in the perimenopause, I could cry because of that. That was lovely.
All right. Well, I'm glad. Well, that wraps up season 1.
Yes. We are carrying on.
Yeah, we are. We're not going anywhere. We just want to do it in seasons. So
yeah.
We will be back. So, as always, if you have any questions you'd like us to answer, please feel free to WhatsApp us, or if you're in our perimenopause group, which is Perimenopause with Kate Grosvenor, please feel free. We have a weekly thread, and please feel free to ask us questions, and we will be back with next week, right?
Yeah, next week for season 2.
Yeah. All right, my darlings, take care, and we will speak to you soon. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books, or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.